Welcome back. On today's video we're going to compare the pros and cons of internal and external screens. This is our outer front screen. Put it upside down. In the corners these loop over the door, and there are holes which go over the mirrors. Wiggle jiggle. Done. Up. Around. Done. And repeat the same on the other side. Join the two velcros together. And you've got little tassels here which you put elastic through that go through the handle, and that's it, locked into place. It does have this flap that comes down over the grille of the bonnet, which actually protects the air intakes a little bit. And because we've got the lights on the front here, we just have to fold this up slightly, but normally that would sit down completely square. And there we go, that's how you fit the cover to the outside of the van. Well, good morning folks. So we had the outside covers on last night and not a single drop of condensation at all. So that's definitely one of the benefits of putting the external screens on. Does mean that if we did need to drive away we can't, but there we go. If you're on a campsite and such like that, then that is absolutely brilliant. I'll now put up our internal blinds. These are actually designed to fit the vehicle perfectly. We have had a number of different ones over the years which haven't fit the screen at all. However, these fit absolutely perfectly. Also on the side door you will notice that they also fit, and all of the suckers hit the glass rather than in the middle of a pillar, so they sort of stand off. These are thicker than your kind of normal ones that we've had. Now let's go and compare the screens more closely. First off, let's look at the internal blinds. These blinds are from Van Comfort. They're manufactured in Germany by a company called Kantop. These are designed for use all year round, whether it be summer or winter. They're made up of an 8-layer thermal insulate with an inner weave of Scotchgard for damp protection. They have a nylon washer around the parts where the suckers go, and they have a high-end sucker with a stainless steel ring for removal. However, I would advise to peel back the cover and use your finger to remove the sucker, as they do stick very, very well. These are kind of our go-to for wild camping and anywhere that we're not staying on site. Since owning these, we have found them to be far more efficient than our generic set that we bought originally. They are far better at keeping the cold out and the warmth in at night. While using these, the condensation that we experience is far less. However, there is still some present. Because these fit far closer to the glass, that helps to reduce the effect, unlike the externals that sit around the outside of the glass where you have no condensation. Next up is the Polar Technologies external screen. This is the long version which has the flap that goes down over the air intakes on the bonnet. Like the internal screens, this is a multi-layer solution once more. The silver layer on the outside reflects the sun's rays, while the silver layer on the inside reflects the heat back into the cab. Because this goes around the outside and sits tight against the glass, you have no visible condensation. We used this while up in the Arctic in the extreme conditions of down to -14. We did find it very efficient at keeping the cab warm. Other times where we've opted to use this would be when we're at campsites or events for long periods. So let's review the pros and cons for both. Firstly, let's look at the internal blinds. First up, the ease of putting them on and removing them. When they're internally, you can just literally just put them in the screen, job done. If the weather's bad outside, you don't need to go out, you can put them on. If you need to leave the area quickly, you can literally remove them and drive away. However, this does come with a compromise of condensation. And while it is limited with these, it is still present. Another pro is for the most part, these stay dry, so therefore they're quick and easy to put away in the morning. Another positive is generally as a rule they are smaller than external screens, so they're easier to store, and normally they weigh a little less. In short, these are our go-to for 99% of the time that we stay places, because we predominantly wild camp. Now let's talk about the externals. The first positive is you get no condensation with external screens. So if you're staying on site or staying in one particular area for a long time, they're ideal to put on. Now for the couple of negatives to consider. 1. You have to get out the vehicle to put them on and remove them. So if you are wild camping, they're not really ideal because you can't drive away with them in place. In the morning, whilst you won't have any condensation on the inside of the van, you will have condensation on the outside of the screens. So you will need to dry them before you can put them away. And in most cases, they will weigh a little bit more than the internals. So ultimately, the best solution of screen cover comes down to the application you're using it for. If you are looking to stay on campsites, then an external is an ideal fit. However, if you are wild camping and that's the sort of thing you do mainly, then internal is certainly the better way to go. If you are looking at it from a cost perspective, yes, you can pick up some cheap internal screens, but we've had those and they're not efficient at all. However, the more expensive ones that we do have, there's only around about £15 difference between the internal and the external at the time of shooting of this video, with our internal screens costing £150 and our external costing £165. I will include links below to both products so you can choose which one is best for you. The one for van comfort, we do currently have a discount code available of ALIVE45, which will give you a 5% discount at checkout. Currently there is no discount available for the Polartec one, however if one does come available, I will also include it in the description below. If you have any questions about the screens that we're using, please feel free to include them below. Also, if you found any screens you feel are better, then also tell us about them, because I'd be keen to hear about it. If you did find the video useful, then please do give it a thumbs up. Have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also don't forget the subscribe button and notification bell to when the next video goes live. See you in the next video.